Hi, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Actually, you know what? Today I feel like standing up. Um, yeah. Good morning. It's a little chilly. It's a little nippy here in Michigan. I'm gonna lift this camera up a bit. I will wait for people to maybe pop in. Please feel free. I love knowing that there might actually be some real live beings on the other side of the screen looking and talking and sharing practice with me. So please let me know that you're here. Good morning. Good morning, Claudia. I don't know if you're going to see any pets. I think that they all went for a nap. I have no control over their movings, comings, and goings. Yeah, we live in a free, autonomous state here. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and we're here for our home yoga practice live. And this is a practice or share that we've been doing every day, Tuesday through Friday, about developing a personal practice and what is our personal relationship with yoga, with yoking, with union, and how is it serving us throughout our day? How do we use it for our self regulation of our emotions and our mind and our body? All right. Good morning, Kim and Kim. Oops, we got double Kim going on. Ah, yay. Hi. Is it Michaela? Great. All right. Well, good morning. And so let's start today in our mountain rather than starting sitting. I can see that my animal roommates have decided that this is a play area. Coming into ourselves. So hopefully this has been serving you, this share, this video sharing over the last few weeks to create your own personal relationship with practice, an intent, a deliberateness about meditating, about being in the body, moving whatever is stuck within us, whatever needs space, and developing that listening skill and that seeing so that we can respond when our body and our breath start to tell us, hey, something is out of balance, so that we can walk in life with an ease and steadiness, right? Not just ease and steadiness on our mat. We want to be in an aware and awakened state in ease and steadiness as we communicate with one another, as we deal with maybe difficult conversations, heightened emotions, and even the joyous spaces. So I'm going to just start to come up and down on my toes and heels, waking up how I'm feeling. My body is a little achy from, some of you know I was in a rear end accident on Tuesday. And it's really fascinating to have felt, day after day, like a slow ache here and there. So I'm just waking up, checking in on my body. I've been being a lot more ginger with the body throughout it all. A little rocking through the pelvis, just to say, hello, pelvis. No sudden or harsh movements. And then lifting up through the torso. Never be shy about giving yourself some body caress and touch if it helps you bring that awareness to, hey, this is a part of my body, my physical existence. And I want to allow for a space of, call it meditation, call it quietude. Just inquire of my own spirit, how are you? And listen for that answer. A little on edge, a little tired, and a bit solid in my authenticity. They can coexist. And let's breathe in and lift up, pushing the legs down. And I just want to hold in this space of this extended mountain. Let my spirit fill up the nooks and crannies and crevices of my physical existence. What is standing? How do I practice it? Literally, figuratively. I'm going to squeeze some of the muscles in my feet and my legs just to feel out where I am. Does the frame want to hold me? Are there some areas that are saying, we're a little dinged up? Can this other part of us compensate a little bit today? And we'll work that out. I'm not going to tell my body it's got to be a certain way. I'm going to listen to it and honor what it needs. Bring that left arm down, gentle side bend. I'm going to maintain the awareness of my rootedness through the bottom body. I can actually feel still a little bit of the solidity in the hips, but I really would like the hip area to be a little watery, to be more of a fluid space. I don't want the rigidity of my root, of my foundation, to create rigidity into the rest of me that needs that fluidity, that needs that action, that needs the spaciousness of the airy space of love, gradually coming up. Ooh, my hips are like, okay, yeah, we moved a little. Exhale over to the other side. Scanning within myself for what feels like an imbalance, what's talking more loudly than another part. Softening my neck and my shoulder, letting the body communicate clearly. Feeling that space of communication and any inhibition there. Gradually coming back upright, feeling how we move, and then exhale, bowing down into ourselves. Perhaps with every exhale, we can invite practicing letting go. So this isn't meant to be any sort of class that says this sequence and this order needs to be done. I am literally, honestly sharing movement as it happens each day, where my body says, okay, let's go here, let's go there. I let it lead the way on the path. So if anything resonates with you, or maybe you're just willing to show up on your mat and just notice where the body wants to move, learning how to turn the brain off and turn the listening on. Softening the diaphragm. Scan the body and then explore. Is there an area as you scan along the way that you could say, hey, you zone, could you let go? And then feel that out. Notice how the rest of you responds. And we'll gradually roll the spine up, lifting the head last, no rush, even observing how we move in that journey, that aspect of being. I'm going to bring the hands behind me, finding an interlace, lifting the wrists, feeling the shoulders, working out the throat, noticing still my legs and my hips, seeing the effects of yesterday's journey on this body, this week's journey, this month, dare I say this year. Woo! All right, a few neck rotations. That's what I need. Maybe you start to explore something differently. And I'm just going to change the pacing and be willing to sit with patience in the areas that are super duper tight and resistant. I'm not even trying to apply that psychotherapy mindset that's like, what is that? You know, now I don't need to go back into any memory from my childhood over that tension in my neck. Meeting myself where I am. In my authentic voice, how I've been using it, how I've been listening. Breath in, maybe open the chest, whatever degree it says yes to. Exhaling as we're coming forward, allowing the upper body to yield. I'm going to soften my knees and practice letting go and acceptance of what's right here. If you've been following all week, I'm going to let the arms go here. We've been practicing along with a theme of moderation, brahmacharya. Breath in as you lift the spine up. I'm going to turn my neck here, feeling the lengthening. Seeing if I can bring awareness of lengthening through my midsection, my low belly. Squeezing the thighs. And releasing the upper body down. Half flat back breath in. If you want to use a block here, feel free. Exhale, letting it go. Move at a flow that works for you. Finding this a few more times. Using the breath in to lift. Using the breath out to lower. Just now recalling to myself to let that letting go be reflected in the muscles of my face and my jaw. No tension around the vessel for my voice. Recognizing also that my voice area nourishes me. I get nourishment from my own authentic expression. I get nourishment from what I take in as far as what I'm hearing and listening information-wise. I know we think of our mouths as the vessel for the food, but could we also remember that food comes in the form of how we voice and how we receive voice? I'm going to come on forward into that nice half flat back. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together, making sure I'm not pressing too much into certain areas of the foot. And generally, if you hear me say, like maybe checking something out or making sure, that's me calling my own self out, right? I was feeling a certain amount of pressure that I was putting undue in a few of my own paw pads of my feet. I'm going to spread the toes, wake up my awareness of the feet holding me. And I'm going to root into the right leg, asking my left leg to lift. Conducting energy intentionally through my spine, long and forward. Feeling my body carry the energy of what it takes to hold this space. And then I'll feel it muscularly. Feel it breath-wise. How much energy do I want to apply through the back of that left leg? Do I know how much I can without it disturbing my ease or my steadiness? Where's my mind going right here? I'm going to gradually bring that down, feeling the stability of the right leg. Now I'm going to lift the left leg. Now you choose when you want to transfer that. Notice the stability of your left leg as you're extending the right. Did we put too much energy and force through it? Too much momentum? Breath in. Breath out. How does this shape make our spirit feel? Our minds feel? Our bodies? Is it unfamiliar? Is it familiar? Is it freeing? Does it wake up some scary, unsure spaces? And then how do we treat ourselves in any of those recognitions? And then I'll gradually bring this right foot down and forward fold. Nice deep breath. Rolling the spine upright, coming up to standing. Arriving in mountain upright. Standing strong and firm in our foundation. And from that foundation, we use that strength and security to let our heart rise, to let our heart be visible. Notice whether you want to shield it and protect it. We'll bring our hands to the knees, slight bend on the knees. And we'll do a gentle cat and cow, breathing in, thrusting the chest up, allowing opening in the front of the throat and neck. Exhale, curving the tailbone under, rounding the spine. Inhale, arching and lifting. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Inhale, breathe, move, observe, and round. Now, as we're going back and forth, let your attention go to the areas that are asking, that are sending out a sensation, a color, a feeling, a heat, and get to know that. What is that? Is it something to be afraid of or to shy away from? Is it unfamiliar? Is it an inner cry that's just stuck in there? Or is it just afraid to move? And you have to coax it, you have to hold its hand like we would hold a toddler's hand across a road. And then I'll round my spine upright to calmness standing. Let's breathe in and lengthen upward. Exhale, gentle side bend. What's willing to move now in a different way? Breath in, feeling secure that it is supported. Exhale it over. That you're not here to boss it around. It feels safe. Breath in, calming on upright. And then letting ourselves bow down into ourselves. Now I'm going to find a little bit more intensity in this posture. It's called Uttanasana. I'm feeling areas in the back here that are saying, okay, we're awake, and there may be more space for my spirit, for my being to occupy. So I'm going to bring my hands behind my calves. Now, if we've got flesh, if we've got tummy, you might want to widen your stance a little bit and make a little bit less smush if you're trying this. Otherwise, just go ahead and hang in your ragdoll. That's cool. Your practice. I'm going to bring my hands behind my calves and encourage the top of my head to seek the earth. Letting my thought space, my spirit and belief space willingly surrender to the earth's energy, to gravity. Maybe shifting forward and back from the heels to the front of the feet. Letting my tummy breathe. Feeling subtle shifting in the muscles of my calves, navigating. Thanking that area, spending this time as a gratitude practice into this vessel. Thank you, legs. Thank you, spine. I'm going to gradually come on back upright. And we'll do a tree. So feel your root. Your feet could be apart. Just try to have the feet equilibrium, right? We're just trying to create harmony and balance, right? One foot over this way, and harmony and balance. We're starting to train and develop that practice within ourselves of deliberate intention. Some people call it mindfulness. Deliberate and intention. Where am I in those spaces? Just had an Olay moment. Tree. Okay. I'm going to root into my right leg. I'm going to spin my left foot up against that right ankle. Feeling the hip first, real space of holding the hip open, allowing for some opening of feeling where I am in fluidity, of going with the flow. I know I've had to practice a lot of go with the flow this year. because everything's been coming hot and heavy. We've had to adjust and shift and acclimate, pivot, and then do it again and do it again. So that can certainly make our foundation feel rocky. And it's wonderful that this practice gives us an opportunity to feel our lived experience in how our flesh is responding. And maybe we don't believe it, but man, you stand in this long enough and you notice how you're adjusting and you say, whoa, is that how I've been feeling emotionally, mentally? Now, if you want, you could bring that foot up to the calf. Try not to be on the knee joint. So if you can have it on the calf, just to protect the knee. All things in safety and kindness. You could have your hand at a wall for support. If you're practicing with one another and your partner is stable, maybe, and they consent, we could reach out and maybe hold hands. Like, I need a partner. I'm talking and being too sassy. I lost my focus, right? My intent. I'm going to bring that foot down. I'm going to shake this foot out because that's legit. It's also letting me know how much I was driving energy down, and might make me be a little bit more aware of my desire for rootedness can't be one of strain, because then that'll exhaust my own energy as well. There's a certain amount of trust I have to have with root. I'm going to find the other side. So I share with you how I reflect on the relationship with asana, postures, the relationship with breath, and how all 8 limbs come together in a whole practice. And sometimes we need to isolate them. I'm going to sit and do meditation. I'm going to sit and work on focus. I'm going to do the asana. I'm going to do the breath. But the whole system is samadhi, is unification. And in that unification is the bliss of that collaborative, mutual dependence, mutual reliance. Kind of saying that I need all of that to come together for my whole balance, my whole being. Oh, there's some rockiness. And so this side is a little less steady. So I'm going to quiet some of my vocalizing and send the love space of the heart down to my foot, down to my ankle, and forgive any of that wobbliness. Forgive myself of any judgment that I'm having. Now I'm feeling a little bit more stable. So I may come up to this calf. Actually, I may come up to the groin. So if that's a space for you, feeling how much pressure they have to collaborate, thigh and foot. Feeling this hip. Quieting and calming my space. Allowing my breath, my voice. Remember that smiling can and should be a part of our practice. We don't need a reason other than being. And that's a pretty good reason to smile. And I'll bring that foot down. I'm going to come up to the top of my mat. We'll do one sun salutation. Feel like really moving the energies. And breathing in and lengthening upward. Really working on the up and the down, allowing myself to feel that in my body. Exhaling as I'm coming forward, softening in my low back, my belly, my thoughts. Breath in as we lift the spine up halfway, feeling fluidity and the letting go of what just was. So those last 2 postures, they're gone. Continue to meet ourselves where we are. I'm going to plant my palms and step it back to plank. Finding a breath and lowering down to the belly. Breath in, lifting cobra, keeping the hips down, letting the breath here. I'm just going to move a little side to side, a little caress, a little understanding, a little cradling. Ooh. And downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips down dog. So I'm going to turn sideways here. Widen my feet, pressing the heels back. Maybe alternate bending left knee and right. Breathe in, push the tailbone up. Now we're going to come up to the top of our mat. Some of you may need to bring a knee down first and then step a foot up. So however it's best for you to come up, use that intention, that deliberate nature. Half flat back, breath in. Forward fold, breath out. Bending the knees, keeping the butt back a bit. You could keep your hands on your knees. Finding that chair, squeezing the inner thighs, or the feet could be apart, knees apart. But try not to have knees together, feet apart. We don't want to put undue stress on the knees. And forward fold, let it go, let it go. And practice that again. Where's a new area? Where's a new area physically to let go? Where's a new area in our mind to let go? Good. We're going to bring the hands to the floor or your block. And step the left foot back, back foot flat. Maybe step the left foot wide a little bit. Right knee over the heel. Don't let it go past the toe. Remember, we're just working on balance and harmony. Never in an unbalanced space. And we'll make our way up. You could bring your hands to your knee to bring yourself up. Maybe you can glue the legs down and feel out that stability. Breath in, lifting up, finding this warrior. I'm going to pull this right hip back, left hip forward, aligning the hips. And now I'm just going to rock back and forth because there was a lot of conversation going on in my hips and my low back there. And maybe for some of you, you're feeling it in the back of the calf instead. I'm only reflecting what I am feeling. Right? And that thing that I'm feeling, or culmination, is from, more than 50 years on the planet, way too much rugby, way too much basketball, ranger training. I wasn't nice to my body. And we'll bring the hands down to the block. Let's step that foot up and trade it out when you're ready. Now think before you step. Honestly, absorb that. Do I know when I'm ready? When am I ready? How do I create that conversation with my body? Have we ever created that conversation? All of this is a part of practice. And then this is why I also really encourage that journaling being a part of your yoga practice. Because if you start that conversation with your body to say, are you ready? And whatever it is that you encounter in your mind, write about it. We'll bring ourselves up. Like, hey, journal, yoga journal. Today, I tried to have this conversation and I felt weird asking myself, hey, body, what do you want? Why does that feel weird? This physical body is holding my spirit. Maybe work the hips back and forth. Why wouldn't I want to negotiate and not dominate my physical body? I want to thank it for being the vessel, the house that's holding my consciousness. This is our ticket to this earthly realm right here. So we should probably say, hey, are all parts ready to go? Or is there a part that needs some attention? It goes, hey, wait a minute, y'all all need to slow down. Breath in, let's lift if you want. And we'll bring the hands down. Let's go ahead and bring that knee down. Step to plank. And we'll lower down to our bellies. Breath in, lifting it up, cobra. See if you can keep your hips down. Elbows are bent, shoulders back, neck is soft. Try not to crane the neck. And then I want to take away the try not to. And just everybody right now, if you're in this posture, just observe what's going on. Observe what's going on. What are both hands doing? Is one arm doing more work than the other? Are the shoulder blades crunching together? And did your mind go, should it be? Should it not be? Do I need to fix it? And how do we just say, all right, I'm going to forgive, ease and steadiness. Ease and steadiness. Maybe I come a little lower. Ease and steadiness. How do I practice that? Down dog. Bringing ourselves up and back. How much of the physical body can be a balloon for all of that breath? How is the breath serving us? Maybe turning the neck left and right. You could rotate your upper arm bones if that sounds like something you want to explore. Even if you go, what is she talking about? Just use it as a test. Will the brain synapses send a signal to a body area, and will the body area do something? Good, and we'll look forward and make our way up to the top of the mat. And half flat, finding that block. We take for granted so many brain signals that we send that our body responds to. Real intricate, complex stuff. Even just sending a signal to spread the toes and lay each one independently down. I have yet to get full independent toe control, but I have, a good portion of them. I would say out of 10 of them, I might have 60%. I'm going to squeeze the thighs. Ask the muscles around my core, around the sides, to give me a nice hug and lengthen me, giving me that stability. Soften the muscles on your face. We'll lift the left leg if you want and if you're ready. I'm going to pull that knee into the chest. Now I'm going to try to keep my chest over the block, not leaning back into that right heel. And if you made that kind of adjustment, what do you observe that's different about how much activity is going on in your core? Try to invite the thigh to the belly, not the head to the knee. Can we make that distinction? And if we make a sudden adjustment in that, a subtle adjustment, what do we feel? Let's breathe in and lengthen it back. Free, open space. Exhale, knee to belly, breath. What's the right leg doing right now? How much information is your body trying to process? Is your mind trying to process? Is it for your mind to process at all? Or could we say, hey, mind, quiet yourself. We're just here to feel and reach it back. We're also just here to listen. Maybe twist that hip open. And close. Open. If you're tired, bring those legs down. And close. And we'll bring that leg down. For an intermission space, I'm going to come down to my tippy toes. Getting the head above the heart. Giving the core and the torso a little bit of a break. And observing what we're observing. Letting the heart come to a rest, letting the breath come to a rest. And I feel a lot more secure and some ease and steadiness and ready to see if we can find the other side and explore and learn and listen to this physical body as we go. So even observe how you move. Come on up. Are we lengthening the spine or are we already in lifting the leg? Did we spend enough time giving that some attention as far as the shape of the body in this L? And I'm going to ask my left leg, hey, you ready? You got me? And I'm going to lift that right leg up. Squeezing the upper thigh of that left leg. Now that was definitely me talking out loud to myself. Because that left leg, the closest part to the hip is already like, I want to stop. And I'm like, okay, do you really have to stop? It's kind of like the kid in the back seat who's like, I got to go to the bathroom. And then they really don't. They just want to get out because they didn't want a distraction. That's what my upper left thigh just did. Breath in. Exhale, pull the knee up into the belly, feeling containment. Rooting and strength in my left leg. And my arms have to provide some support. And if I ask them to do it, if I put some energy in it, that just said, hey, we could be here. We could be here for a little bit. If all of the physical body is here as a support structure. Inhale, lengthen it back, lengthening the neck. Telescope. Could we telescope that? Make space for spirit and breath inside of this frame. Exhale, knee to belly. Come in, explore, find out what's there. Maybe surprise ourselves. Inhale, let's reach it back, reach it back. And then maybe twist it open. All right, so that left hip told me I went too fast. And I'm going to close it. And I'm going to twist it open. And close. And bring that leg down. I'm going to roll my spine up to standing. Finding our mountain. Maybe closing the eyes, maybe not. What's still tense? Kind of on red alert in the body. Maybe already trying to be heightened for whatever's coming next in the day. Can we just be here? And who is the most authentic you that you could be, that you could greet right here? Most authentic in breath, in physical energy, intention. Open the arms wide. I'm going to crisscross, bringing the right under, left over. You can find a bear hug. Maybe make it look sensual and sensuous behind us. I've always loved that. And maybe just lift the elbows up. If you want to find eagle arms, you can. And this could suffice as well. If we encourage the elbows to jut forward, we'll feel maybe a stretch in between both shoulder blades. And then you could involve the neck too, up and down. And feel what's going on in between the shoulder blades and the front of the throat and neck. How much mobility do we have here? Mobility is free range of movement, meaning space. And then we could twist a little side to side. What's the range here? What's the willingness? Is something unfamiliar? And up to center, aiming the elbows up. I'm going to give a little bend in my knees so as not to put too much into my back. And come all the way forward and hang with the weight of the clasped arms. Letting the neck go. And releasing the arms. So I'm going to grab my block. And I'm going to step my left leg back, but I'm going to stay on the back toes. Now, I need to scooch that back a bit so that I can keep my knee over the heel. Come forward just a hair. And squeeze inner thighs. Now, if you want, have your block right here out in front of you so that your hand could, rest on it. Hug this knee to you. Squeeze inner thighs together. I'm going to turn frontally here. Squeeze this knee to you. Drive that left leg back. Pull the chest forward. We're all going to have a different point of intensity that starts to cross the line into punishment and not practice. So be honest and bring the back knee down when you hit that breath. Claudia, you can tell Jill that Katniss has decided to join us. Now I'm going to bring my left knee down. I'm personally going to move the block out of the way, but you could keep it there. And sink in the hips and draw the chest up. Keep hugging that knee to you. And again, you may need to come out of this. And that's okay. That's your journey. Moderate, self-restraint. Don't just double down on more fire. Now I'm just going to shift back into my left knee. And now I'm going to step this right knee back. Maybe do a few hip rotations. That feels like a pretty cool idea. And actually now I'm going to step this right foot out to the side. All right, so for anyone who is new to practicing with me, and maybe even for folks who have practiced with me before, even in the studio or not, there's no scripting. Just going with any intuitive space inside of my body, and then when I'm present with you all, any intuitive space or balanced space from our shared experience. So I didn't know I wanted to come into parigraha, but apparently that's where I'm going to go. Side of that foot is pressing down. That foot is aiming forward, feeling the hips, trying not to lean that way. Seeing, do they want to align? Ooh, I'm feeling that in my back. A little bit of pelvic tilts back and forth. Just working it out. And then we'll lift, breath in. Exhale over to the other side. Ooh. Hips forward. Check in with your neck. I'm going to come on up. Keeping that foot aiming forward. Might feel a little awkward. Turn the chest over in the direction of the right leg. And then allow ourselves to come as far down as the body will allow. Now try not to let your butt slide back toward the child's pose position. Ooh, apply pressing the baby toe edge of that right foot down, and you might amplify a sense of a stretch through the side of that calf. That's a part of you. How is it feeling? What does it need? Give it some attention if we haven't given it attention in a long time. You can massage it. You can talk to it. I'm going to walk my hands out in front. I'm actually going to walk forward a bit. Roll onto the inside of the arch of that right foot. Drop the belly. Pull the chest up. Ooh, breath. And then shifting it back. Bringing that right knee in. Get your block ready. We're going to do the lunge on the other side. Stepping the left foot forward. Feel your intention. Move with intention. Even if we just do them in small moments throughout our practice, that's us just reapplying ourselves to practicing intention. That's our mind. That's our focus. So if you're wondering, what limb is that? That's dharana. Anytime that we're in a mindful space of intent, mindful space of deliberate, that's focus. That's concentration. I'm going to tuck the back leg, tuck the back toes, straighten the back leg, keeping this knee over that heel, using the block if you want. If you don't need the block and you can bring the torso inside of that thigh, great. Be mindful about that knee. I'm exaggerating that here. Hugging it in. Contain. Breath. Squeeze both inner thighs. How much of us can we fill up and feel the breath? Occupy our attention into the breath. Remember, you're going to hit that edge. Pushing that right heel back, trying to remember that we are practicing connecting, not punishment. We'll bring that right knee down if you haven't already. Hug that left thigh to you, dipping in the hip, drawing the chest forward, finding the breath. Maybe we start to observe, okay, what's going on in my mind? Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha, second sutra. You know, it says that yoga quiets all the churning in our head. But I feel as though, that's a long-term goal. The first thing it does is it shows you all of the churning going on in your head. And then we get to practice loving kindness with what we observe, because we go, man, it's crowded up in there. I'm going to shift back into that right knee. I'm going to step this left knee back. Remember, we did a few hip rotations. So if you want to kind of balance out what you're doing side to side, feel free. I don't marry myself to this all of the time, but I'm moving so much throughout the day that it's all right. I'm going to open my hips in different ways today. I'm going to press the baby toe edge down, bringing myself up. Now, it doesn't mean that I take that lightly. I do try to bring balance in my day. I even look at, okay, what did I do in the beginning of the day versus the end of the day? Movement-wise, meditation-wise, where I put my attention, what parts of my spiritual being, my mental being, my breath being, got some attention or not. Press down here, work the hips, work. Yes, I went there. Breath in. Lengthen. Where are we lengthening from? So many aspects that we could just sit and do that one thing, and there's more than enough to explore in our yoga. We don't have to do 100 different things in a class for us to feel like it was intense or a full experience. We can push the hip forward a little, breathing into the side body. Moderation, no forcing. Acceptance. Forcing is not acceptance. Feel it in your breath. Invite it. We even have to accept however much of our whole being we can bring into this practice with dedication, with commitment. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let me come on back, because we get another chance to try. We get another chance to meet ourselves. And then turn. And if we're practicing forgiveness, then it's a full circle practice. And we'll come on, forward, over this leg. Deep breath. Sigh it out. Pressing down through the baby toe edge of that left foot. Trying not to let the buttocks sink back toward the heel. Coming on forward, hands walking out in front of us, rolling onto the inside of the arch of that left foot. When you're ready, and feel that out. We'll lean the chest forward, sinking in the hips, drawing the chest up, kind of bringing a bit of a cobra into parigraha. Good. And then we'll shift it on back. Bring that left knee in. And let's find a child's pose. Now, because I've been moving quite a bit already today, I'm going to have my knees together, but you feel out whether you would like to have your knees wide. And lengthen that upper body up and over. Allow for breath. Allow for coming into you. Wrapping around the seeds of your practice. And we'll come on upright. I'm going to walk my hands back. Now, this might not be for everyone with their ankles, all right? I'm going to walk my hands back. So I've got my feet tucked under. Hands here, maybe on a block. That might work. I want to push my shins down and thrust the hips up. And that could be minimal movement. You're feeling whatever you're feeling. Breath. And lower the butt down. Now, I know we can be really focused on feeling the thighs and the hips, but I'm going to go through this again. I'm bringing some awareness into, ooh, could I open the chest, the thoracic space as well? Offering some love, some understanding. Press down through the shins, thrusting the hips. I got to draw those shoulder blades together. Lift up through the breastbone. No strain in the neck. Ease and steadiness. And lowering the body down, the hips down. And coming up to a seated space. Legs out in front of us. Pointing and flexing, taking the weight off of the feet. Ankle rotations. Legs wide and just shaking it out. This is great when I've got excess energy, any frenetic energy, nervous energy. Shaking out. I do it standing up. I do a bobblehead. Just shake it out. I'll do it for any amount of time. I listen for, okay, is that fluttering kind of settling down, coming into the body? Maybe let the flesh open down here. And breath in, flex the toes. Exhale, coming forward. And we'll be here for a little bit in that forward fold. So for some of you, you may want like a pillow across. You bring it up against the belly and just let the upper body go, especially if your body is feeling really stiff and doesn't really like this pose. It's great. Just kind of turn your head and rest. I actually think I'm just going to stay here. I thought I was. But see how much we could go limp. Let go of the action in your legs. Just let them be there. Feel the broad side of your back body. All of the skin across your upper back. Feel the muscles up and down your spine. In between your ribs. What's shifting and changing right here? What's creating space within us right here? Who are we becoming right here? In an honest space about what we avoid, what we let ourselves feel, how kind we are to our flaws, how open we are to change and growth. And we'll gradually come on back upright. And I'll invite us to come to a seated space to close for a meditation, a breath practice. You can do that in Shavasana. So if you really feel like, oh, I like the laying down part, go ahead. Now, you can do Shavasana. And if you end up falling asleep, no harm. Your body needed it. Your mind needed that shutdown. But do know that when you're starting to develop your home personal practice and you're outside of a group environment, Shavasana is a pose. Shavasana is an asana. And so it's a pose of the body in stillness. And we sit there in this wakeful, mindful stillness, observing all that is going on. And we can't do that when we sleep. So the Yoga Sutras say that we have 5 activities of our mind. And I guess, deep sleep is one of them. It is. But it's hard to observe our mind when our mind is kind of unconscious and not in our control. The other 4 states or activities of our mind: memory. I know I spend a lot of time there. Imagining, or I call it future thinking, anticipatory thinking. All of the this is coming, what if, anxious thinking, planning. Memory, I think I said that already, right? Deep sleep, memory. Somebody correct me. I'm losing 2. I know that when I sit for a minute, it'll come to me. So let's be present in a wakeful silence. Feel the stillness. Notice your mind. And if the mind is too distracted, allow your attention to just go with the comings and goings of your breath. The other 2 are comprehending and miscomprehending. So understanding and knowing, and misunderstanding and not knowing are the other 2 states of our mind. So as you sit, as you meditate, observe and be clear when that memory about a fall day or some leaves or your dog or what someone said, and as you're looking at it, don't go down the rabbit hole. Just say, oh, that's a memory. Come back to the now. With ease and steadiness, come back to the now. When you notice the mind is already starting to chomp at the bit to plan out the next thing and the next thing today. Try not to follow that rabbit hole of that task list, of all of the what ifs or I must remember. And come back to the now. Just say, oh, I was in future thinking. The fun spaces are in distinguishing knowing and not knowing, because they kind of mutate between one another. I could think it's morning and it's night. I could think someone who's coming toward me in a crowd is a good friend of mine, and then when my eyes see them more clearly, I realize, oh, I was mistaken. I could think a stiffness in a yoga pose is dangerous, but if I sit and breathe through it for a moment, I realize it isn't. How do we react and respond in any of these states of our mind? Are we working with ease and steadiness? Or are we always in a constant state of reactivity? Follow the breath and observe. What is true about your breath right now? What is true about your body right now? Is it okay? Is it safe? Is it whole? What is true about your spirit? And hands to the heart center. If you wish to join for an Om to close, Om is considered to be the primordial sound, the unstruck sound. Because if the universe was born out of a void, what came into collision to create the bang? So it's an unstruck sound. And our vibration of the Om captures into that wave. And I've really been loving feeling that my wave of Om is going to touch yours eventually. So we are connected, whether we see one another right here and now or not. This is something that I am knowing. Hopefully not knowing. If you wish, relax the diaphragm, wide open throat. Your authentic voice, deep breath in. Hands to the heart center, the Anjali Mudra. And take a moment and feel out what you got to connect with in your practice, what lessons, what seeds that were planted that you will carry off with you. May you return to your practice more than once throughout the day. It can be 5 minutes, it can be 20, it can be 2 hours. Just keep practicing. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this has been our home yoga practice live on Friday, June 12th. Wow, the year is almost halfway. This is one for the record books. This is one, yeah. Thank you all so much for joining for practice, for catching it on replay, for sharing. We are a donation-based yoga community outreach that just wants to believe in open source yoga and give it away freely, knowing that abundance and what is needed for my own security, for our own existence, will come. So please share. Thank you all so very much. Be kind to yourselves. Be gentle as you do the hard work of self-awareness and self-learning. Peace. Namaste, Amanda. Yay. It's been great to see you, hermana.